Have you ever found yourself wondering why are Hindus targeted with so much negative and accusatory rhetoric? If you've been grappling with this question, this video is for you. I'm Atul Mishra. Let's delve into some key indicators that may suggest you're experiencing something called Hindudvesha. I will define the term in full details in a short while. So here are some indicators. Indicator number 1. Do you feel embarrassed or ashamed of your Hindu heritage? Indicator number 2. Are you constantly interrogated for the supposed misdeeds of your ancestors like the caste system? Indicator number 3. Do you find yourself on the defensive about your traditions, feeling compelled to either defend them or denounce them? Indicator number 4. Do you feel a pressure to distance yourself from your heritage? Indicator number 5. Are you often suspected of being associated with Hindutva and feel an incessant need to prove otherwise? And finally, indicator number 6. Do you feel frustrated and silenced by the overwhelming negative commentary that surrounds you? If you have ticked off any of these boxes, you might be a victim of Hindudvesha. And now the term Hindudvesha, a term that's recently entered our lexicon. It's born from the Sanskrit word dwesh, translating to aversion, repulsion, or even hatred. Not just any dislike. This is an intense emotional response that can color our perception of the world. Think of it like this. Ever heard of systemic racism or anti-Semitism? They negatively paint entire communities, right? Hindudvesha plays in the same league. It's a foggy lens that distorts Hinduism and the Hindu people. And here's the shocking part. This fog is so dense, it often leads Hindus themselves into propagating Hindudvesha. It's like a sinister game of telephone. From the colonial era to today, the discourse of Hindudvesha has subtly painted Hindus in unflattering light. But unlike before, it now hides under the appearance of objectivity. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, presenting offensive stereotypes as objective truths. Now let's switch lanes to the more popular term phobia. Phobias, we all know them. They are irrational fears or aversions to something. Claustrophobia, autophobia, you name it. But here's the catch. Do people really have an irrational fear of Hindus? Doesn't make much sense, right? Hindus aren't generally known for forcing their beliefs on others or causing harm. Yet, there's an unsettling narrative that paints Hindus as a threat. What's up with that? This confusion around Hinduphobia has led to the hunt for a more precise term, a term that captures the distinct aversion or hatred towards Hinduism, separate from any fear. And that's where Hindudvesha fits the bill. There are two faces to Hindudvesha, blatant and blind. Blatant Hindudvesha is like a bull in a china shop, totally aware and unapologetic about its anti-Hindu stance. Blind Hindudvesha, on the other hand, is more of a silent assassin, unconscious of its prejudice. It often hides under the guise of an honest critique of Hinduism. Now here is the bitter truth. Both these forms contribute to a toxic environment that fuels conflict and discrimination against Hindus. They have been incredibly successful in making Hindus feel embarrassed or defensive about their heritage. So if you felt this way, you might just be a victim of Hindudvesha. Just as anti-Semitism fosters conflict and systemic discrimination, Hindudvesha perpetuates a similar state of disharmony against Hindus. It's a powerful discourse, camouflaged to inflict maximum damage. Alright, now that we have a grip on this term, it's time for us to unmask the strategies that push Hindudvesha as the objective truth about Hindus. This takes us through academia, media, social media, movies, TV, politics, and policy domains. And you would be surprised to find just how pervasive it is. Like an invisible puppet master, Hindudvesha is pulling strings in places you would least expect. So what's the way forward? How do we break free from this endless cycle? It's a two-step process, folks. Step 1, awareness. It's crucial for everyone, especially Hindus, to recognize the existence of Hindudvesha. Just like a game of spot the difference, we need to identify and call out instances of Hindudvesh whenever we encounter them. Step 2. Action. We need to counteract Hindudvesh. We need to prevent it from becoming institutionalized. And for that, we need legislation that checks such biases. This isn't a battle against people, but against a harmful narrative that has been allowed to flourish unchecked. It's high time we changed that narrative. And Hindudvesh.org is doing just that. Their vision is to educate society about the phenomenon of Hindudvesh, embed it in global consciousness, and develop the capacity of the Hindu community to resist it. Their mission is to explore and expose Hindudvesh through rigorous research, incisive analysis, effective education, and robust response. Hindudvesh.org organizes webinars and virtual conferences to address the systemic hatred towards Hindus. They also release thoroughly researched publications on the subject to spread awareness. They make the vast Hindu diaspora more culturally enlightened, thereby bridging gaps and fostering understanding. Hindudvesh.org seeks to arm Hindus with knowledge and facts that can be used to counter Hindudvesh narratives. Knowledge, as they say, is power. And finally, they engage in on-the-ground activities like sanskars, yajna, meetings, town halls, and much more to bring the community together and promote dialogue. These initiatives combined create a robust strategy to tackle Hindudvesh, engaging at both grassroots and global levels. Now you might wonder, why is your support crucial? The answer is simple. Every social movement requires collective effort. Your participation, your voice, your awareness, and your support can make a significant difference. By joining this movement, you contribute to a more understanding, respectful, and inclusive world. So let's come together to educate, to empower, and to enlighten. Let's come together to support Hindudvesh.org. Thank you for watching, and remember, your support can bring about a positive change.